What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the video. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're working on the 79 yellow coupe, working away on the interior a little bit. We're trying to get this situation sorted up here and try to get a headliner put in it today. Maybe get the rear panels dyed and a couple other things. Just depends on how everything goes. So I've sourced a set of seats for the car. I know that I showed in the first couple videos that I put out on the car that the original seats in the car were trashed. I've actually sourced about 3 different set of seats. We finally landed a set of 79 original style seats. They are black, however, I think it's still going to go well with the white and black interior. You guys can let me know your thoughts on that below. But I'll turn the camera around and show you what I'm working with because it is a little bit different. And this might interest a couple of you guys, so I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, so this is the back seat that I've got. You'll notice it's a little short over here. That's because that's a hatchback upper seat. Like 79 to 84 had, or maybe it's 83. I don't remember exactly what year they stopped this back. It might even be 82, to be honest. I think it is 82. Either way, 79 to 82 had a solid rear back. They didn't fold down at all. So I sourced these from, I want to say these came out of a 79 hatchback, more than likely. I don't know. I got these seats along with a bunch of other different set of seats from a guy. And, you know, I'll show you the other set of seats that I had in the car, and I just wasn't happy because the rear seat didn't match the front seats. Now, these aren't going to be in here forever. You know, that's probably not our permanent seat here. But one thing I was kind of thinking of to maybe try to make this look a little bit better was, so I've got to replace these rear panels anyway, and I've got to dye them. Now when I dye them, I'm probably going to make a line right here and dye this inner part of it black, so it just kind of blends in a little bit better with the seat. So that was one of my ideas on that. And but I'm sure a couple of you guys are asking, how the heck did I get a hatchback rear seat to actually sit in here? I mean, this is in here, it's not moving anywhere. It's the bolts line up for the bottom on a coupe as well. And I'll show you guys back here in the trunk. I'll show you this a little bit. That's how it sits on the rear package array. Apologize for the lighting. And you can see all of the clips that go in right there, there, and there. So the back is in place. And you can kind of see how it sits on the rear package tray. So how I did that was I went ahead and took the backing, this hard plastic backing off the back of the hatchback seat, went ahead and took the backing off of, this is the original coupe seat. You can see, I mean, this is just a beautiful piece of upholstery here. Went ahead and took the back portion, the cardboard piece off of the back where it locates all of the tabs into the car. Took that off of that, and once you take this plastic piece off the back of the hatchback seat, you're left with this on the foam. This essentially would sit something like this on the back of the seat, right? Well, once you take this off, this is a little bit shorter on a hatchback than a coupe. We've already addressed that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the coupe rear cardboard piece and then set this over top of it. And what I did is I just went around with a spray can and sprayed around the edges and got the overall dimensions of the hatchback seat. That way I could cut and modify the coupe backing plate to fit the hatchback seat. I'm going to go ahead and take the hatchback seat, or coupe seat now, out of the car and show you guys what that looks like. Alright, now you can see a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about. So this is the original cardboard piece off of, it's not really cardboard, I don't know what the exact term is for it, but anyway, this is original backing off of the coupe seat. Went ahead once I had it cut to size, slid it up under the top there, and all of the upholstery just folds over it. You staple it back in place. This is just how they do it on the factory stuff. Staple it all back in place and you're good to go. The only thing I had to do was I did have to trim this corner a little bit, and then I just tucked the other stuff up under the cardboard here. So kind of see how that's just kind of tucked up under there. So, and that's it. Now, the only thing that's different is this is a little loose, which actually I think works out in my favor because it's not cut exactly like the coupe one is. So once you clip these down where they're supposed to go, this kind of will just sit loosely where it fits in. So I think that actually works out pretty good. Now, the benefit of doing this is eventually, like I said, we do want to go to maybe like a pace car Recaro seat. That would be the end goal. And of course, those are the same style as this, where they have just a solid rear back. So we can take the back of the pace car seat and do the same exact thing with this rear board and be able to put it in the car. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, I figured this would come in handy to a couple of y'all maybe out there looking for seats for a coupe. They're not the easiest thing in the world to find, and you know, hatchback seats, they come up from time to time. So I figure go ahead and make a video like this. This is my first time doing it, but I always kind of wondered how it would work out, and seems to work out pretty well. So let me know what you guys think about that. We're going to go ahead and try to get the rear panels taken out of the car now, and try to get working on the headliner. Let's do that. All right, you guys, went ahead. I got the headliner board out. Now, I know there's a bunch of videos out there on headliners and how to do them and that stuff, so I won't really do like a how-to on this. I'll just give you guys a couple pointers. So once you get the headliner board dropped down, there's going to be areas that are probably a little weak. And remember, some of these headliner boards are, you know, close to 40 years old. So they're going to have a little bit of issue. So what I do is I just take some duct tape, usually. Whatever tape you got laying around will probably work. And if you got some cracks and stuff like that, just go ahead and put duct tape on them, wrap them around both sides. That way it gives it a little bit extra strength. Now, this car had like an aftermarket pull handle on it, oh shit handle. And so we're going to go ahead and not put that back on. So we'll just cover right back over that. Same thing with the sun visors. They were in really, really bad shape. So for right now, we're just going to cover up the hole and leave it as is. Now, we are going to keep the map light and the center light there. So, but real quick, just to go over this with you, what I do is I get my material cut out close to size, and I do half of it at a time. So I'll lay the material on completely, roll back half of the material up until about the center of the board, spray the board with the glue and the headliner fabric with the glue as well. Now, this is basically what I'll be using. I've got a couple of these cans just left over from, you know, doing a bunch of these. Super 77 works just fine. Like I said, we're going to go ahead. You do half of it at a time. Do this half. Once this is glued down, then you roll this half over. Make sure, though, when you roll it over that you don't crease it. Now, if you do crease it, it's not the end of the world. You know, a good summer will take mostly all of them out. When I redid the headliner in the 93, the material itself had some wrinkles and stuff in it that I couldn't really do anything about. But after sitting outside and in the heat for the summer, it all of those are gone and it looks great. So it might not look the best initially, but it'll certainly be better than what you have, I'm sure. So, and really what fails on these is the foam fails. It gets old and just gets weak, and your headliner starts sagging. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up here and kind of show you guys how I do it. So as you guys saw, went ahead and laid it down halfway and then did the other half. And then after I did that, I went ahead and flipped it over. And I didn't film that part because it takes a little while, but basically I just tuck my edges all the way around. Now that's not something that you have to do. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. This one, I'm gonna take the sound deadening stuff off the roof, so I figured I'll go ahead and wrap around the edges that way to just give it a little bit of distance in between the roof and the headliner. But yes, like I said, sometimes you can just trim them all the way up to the edge, but you got to be careful on sunroof cars because the way that, like, if you were to trim out a sunroof hole, you're going to be SOL. So I would do it like this, and then when you go to put the headliner in a sunroof car, put it up without cutting the hole, and then, because that fabric needs to stretch up and go around the body of the car. But went ahead and got our hole cut out for our map light and our dome light there. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. This is obviously a white headliner. It's kind of like a white suede. It looks really similar to like a factory headliner material on these cars, so I'm fairly happy with it. I'm not the biggest fan of suede, but there's not a whole lot of options when it comes to white headliners. You could either do this or you could do like a white vinyl. I'm really not a big fan of the white vinyl stuff or vinyl headliners in general. I don't really care for the way that they look. So we usually go this route. It's a lot easier, and usually it's a lot cheaper too. I think I got this material ironically off of Walmart. I'll have to get the sizing, but I want to say it was like a 46 by 60 inch wide piece, and it was perfect for what I needed to do here. So I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks, somewhere around there. So a lot cheaper to redo your original board than it would be to buy a headliner. I know I didn't touch on how I got the board so clean. Most of it was pretty clean already because this was an original vinyl top, so those come off pretty clean. But if you have an original cloth, you can rip all the cloth off, or you can just hit it with a wire wheel and a drill. That's how I clean all mine off. I have seen some people use like the Scotch-Brite pads, or like the red bristle pads on a drill, and those they look like they work really well too. I just don't have one to try. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna bring out the new rear panels, get those dyed, and then once we get those dyed, then I'll be able to put the headliner in. So let's keep trucking.
Oh no, I just ruined a set of sand beige coupe panels. Oh well.
know it looks like I'm putting some of this stuff on pretty heavy. A lot of that is, this is actually a gloss white dye, so it's going to look a little sheeny. What I'm going to do to combat that a little bit is, once I've got good coverage on everything, I'll kind of go over with a mist coat. That way it's not so shiny. It'll still have a little bit of gloss to it, but it won't be super shiny. But when you get these old 4-eyed panels, and just really any plastic that's seen a lot of sun exposure, it starts to look really gritty. It's just deteriorating. In order to kind of fill that in and to make it look a little bit smoother, you've got to kind of load some paint into those areas. You know, a lot where the window is exposed, you know, it's pretty texturized in there, pretty gritty looking. So what I'll do is I'll just fill it with as much paint as I can without running it, and then let it dry for a couple minutes, and then go back over it again and, until it looks pretty good. But yeah, pretty much just do this, and once we're done, I'm actually going to probably run a tape line from here all the way down and spray that section black. Reason being is because we had that gap between our seat and the rear panel, and I think dyeing that area black will kind of help blend that in just a little bit better. I don't think it'll look too bad, but these are the bottom halves of these panels, all ready to go. I got the other one dyed already, and I'm gonna get this one knocked out and maybe put the trim bezels back on here. Haven't decided yet, so we'll see. Yeah. All right, so I last left off, you guys, I was dyeing the rear panels. Once I got those dyed in white, I went ahead and trimmed about, two-toned them in black like I said I was going to do. And then I had to drill the holes for the little upholstery pieces. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about there with those. And then once we did that, went ahead and installed the headliner. And you know what, I'll just turn the camera around and show you guys what I'm talking about. Oh! Alright, so like I said, this is what I'm referring to, the little trim panels, the 79. A lot of the 79 cars, I think depending on what model car you got, maybe up to 82, you could get this little trim panel here. It basically is the same thing. If you guys have ever taken off a mat pocket, they have the little like metal tabs that you can bend back and forth. It's the same thing with these. You just drill hole. You have to drill holes in the panel to locate it. This one doesn't fit quite as nice as this one does. That one fits really good. I tried to kind of mess with this one a little bit, but it was off on the other panels too, so it might just be the metal ring. But overall, it's not too bad. Like I said, once we got those kind of done, I went ahead. Now this isn't final. I need to go ahead and dye these, just put them in there to locate them. But went ahead, we got the headliner put in. Went in pretty easy. Now I'm probably going to dye the map white, just because the white that I dyed the rear panels is really like a pure white. And the I think the original white is more of like a off white, which is okay. I'd rather have it brighter white than like a dull off white anyway. Might as well just have tan if it's going to be a dull white. But so we got the headliner put in, then we got the two rear panels put in. Now there are some differences between, like, these panels came out of an 85 or 86 coupe. They have the lower panel rather than the original ones. They just come all the way straight down. Well, that's a difference. The 79s do not have a hole right here. You have to drill that hole up there, and then the 79s actually have a screw down here as well, instead of right here. So, but we went ahead and put a screw here and a screw here. I know it looks a little wonky, but that's what I had to do to pull this panel in. Now I've got a problem here. If anybody can help me out with this, I mean, this should not be rocket science, but I have tried all kinds of stuff to get this belt unstuck. It is like stuck. I don't know how long it's been like this. This is how I bought the car, but it will not come off. I got it wet. I did it, you know, put screwdrivers and tried needle nose pliers and just all kinds of stuff to try to pull this out to be able to move this down. But man, it does not want to move. We might have to end up replacing the seat belts if I can't get it fixed. So, which wouldn't be the end of the world. They're pretty dingy and they're honestly kind of gray from being faded. So probably wouldn't hurt to replace them anyway. And from a safety standpoint as well. So, and then went ahead and got the seats put in. You can see now with this being black, it kind of hides the gap between there a lot better. Now, I think one thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna run like a piece of carpet or something from the top, probably down to right there, or at least to this point, and maybe staple it to the back panel, similar to how we stapled the upholstery there. I think that would probably help that a lot, because this kind of blends in right here. That's not really a big deal, but up there you can kind of see a little bit of yellow and some of the sound deadening material and stuff poking out. But overall, I mean, it's a million times better than what we started with this morning. This stuff takes time though, you guys. If you're kind of working on a project like this, I know some people probably want to rush some stuff. You know, I don't want to say that I took every last ounce of time to make sure the panels are perfect, because let's be honest, the panels are not perfect. But they look a lot better than they did. And this car is, that's kind of the goal with this car, just make it nicer than what it was. I'm not trying to make a show car out of it. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm not trying to restore it. I just want to have nice panels and stuff that's clean. It doesn't necessarily have to be the nicest thing in the world, but as long as it's clean and I can put my kids in the back and, you know, I feel comfortable touching stuff, like that's all that matters. So next thing we'll be working on is actually probably the carpet. The carpet's in really good shape, surprisingly enough. It's just a little faded. So what we're gonna do is probably tomorrow actually, I'll go ahead and pull the center console out, and then I got to pull the bottom section of the rear seat out. It takes 2 seconds. And then all of the kick panels and stuff and the trim pieces, and we'll probably end up pulling this carpet out. I want to pull the carpet out, and honestly, it's really not that dirty. I probably could get away with just cleaning it in the car, but I want to look at the floor pans and make sure that there's nothing really bad going on. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful under the rear seat when I took everything apart. So I don't expect there to be anything, but I just want to get a good look at them. I may end up removing the sound deadener underneath the carpet. I haven't decided yet. I need to see what it looks like. If I decide I'm going to remove it, then I'll probably end up power washing the carpet. If I don't remove that, I might just clean it in the car, and then once I clean it, I'm gonna go ahead and re-dye this area here where it's a little faded, and up here around the transmission tunnel. But aside from that, I know this video is probably super duper long, and there's none of you watching anymore, but if you stuck it out to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you. Thanks to everybody that watches the channel and likes the videos and you know, comments on all the videos and tells me what you think. And you know, I kind of do this more so to just keep track for me, you know, but yeah, just want to say thank you to everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.